What's going on, guys? It's Frito here for your Overwatch. We've made a lot of content about Lifeweaver, specifically on him. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the Season 4 meta and how to play around the elements he adds to the game, both pairing with him, countering him, and how to adjust your gameplay to Season 4. Today's video sponsor is HelloFresh, who I love for their delicious recipes. Over 40, in fact, with 100 seasonal items. They've got great options no matter what your diet or lifestyle. The thing I love most about HelloFresh is that you don't need to be an expert in the kitchen to cook great food. The recipes come pre-portioned, so it couldn't be easier. And even as an experienced cook, I love HelloFresh for the quality of their ingredients, and learning new recipes and the ease of the decision making alone is worth it. Their website is easy to use with lots of tasty selections. Not just dinner either, they have meals for every time of day, snack lunches, or festive gathering specials. HelloFresh sends you ingredients at the peak of ripeness from the farm to your home in less than 7 days. You can taste the difference. Try out HelloFresh today. Take the link in the description and use our promo code POGOverwatchAPR50 to get 50% off plus your first box ships free. Don't miss out on the tasty food. Take the link in the description and use our code POGOverwatchAPR50. The characters that are going to perform best with Lifeweaver are ones that have limited mobility but high stats. Or even if they do have mobility, they use it aggressively to be a target to be pulled back when they go too far. Either to save them from the brink of death or simply just to reset them back into position. Middle rank players aren't great at creating very stronghold formations, but if you are a good player at that, playing Lifeweaver, you can manipulate your tank back into position as those chaotic fights have broken out, cleaned up, but it's time to reset back on cover or power positions. This enemy Mei is looking to bully me on King's Row, but even with the nerfed armor health on Reinhardt on the new build, I'm able to draw the aggro in, stay in, keep swinging, knowing that at the brink of death, my Lifeweaver can always pull me out to get back in cover and reset our health and cooldowns ready to go again. With that principle, although Reinhardt won't receive a lot of healing from Lifeweaver himself, the repositioning allows him to go aggressive on maps that otherwise would be inefficient for him to play. Another character that feels similar in that regard is Reaper, who is kind of tanky like Rein, wants to get in close, and whereas normally would have to Wraith out after going aggressive, a lot of times will then have the option to Wraith either to reload or to tank a cooldown. And since the distance on Reaper's teleport Shadow Step is kind of similar to Life Grip, using them in tandem allows for his uptime to be deep on the enemy team to be much higher than normal. Remember as well, Reaper was one of the bigger beneficiaries when Kiriko got added to the game, who was another support who offered a lot of flexibility with your positioning. Reaper's close range tank-like stats makes him an ideal target to pair with Lifeweaver because he heals himself a bit anyway with self-heal and really just struggles with getting saved out of sticky situations. But other characters for you to consider who also fit this profile would be Bastion, who's already a character that's been succeeding in the meta. Bastion's tough to take any damage with his natural armor health and packs a wallop with a great volume of damage that can tear down basically anything. Typically, we're used to Bastion seeing increased effectiveness with combos like Batiste Immortality Field to pedal him up or pull him back through the fight. After going aggressive, Bastion is more viable than before. Also keep in mind, Lifeweaver on the enemy team often has a lot of stats to throw in the way. Pedal acts like an extra shield at times, and a turreted up Bastion can be a good counter to the tree, having enough ammo to take it down. Surprisingly, the most flexible DPS still, I would say, is Cassidy, despite getting 2 nerfs to his kit. His overall health went down, and Magnade isn't as effective, but Cassidy as a character is far more effective with Lifeweaver in the game. Remember, Cassidy has some outrageous close range potential with a fan the hammer, Magnade, fan the hammer after a roll to fully dump all of your cooldowns into the front line, but have no defenses or escapes. Well, that's where Lifeweaver comes in. Also remember, Cassidy gets a fortification boost while channeling his ultimate High Noon, which makes it for basically the best pedal combo in the game in my opinion, because it's quite tough to take him down as he channels it, pops up quickly, gets line of sight on your squishies, and snipes them away. Cassidy was a great character in Season 3, and he will continue to be thanks to how durable the backline is, not to mention Brigitte got a buff as well, giving another option for defensive backline potential. Two characters I suggest you be on the lookout for being dominant combos with Lifeweaver are the very high-statted Ana or Zenyatta. Discord Orb has quietly been a massive meta component, and the biggest benefit to Lifeweaver is that he is amazing at repositioning against dive. So characters like Zen, who can't really move or escape, all of a sudden have a brand new way to do exactly that, while also adding the outrageous amount of extra offense and reliable healing to the team. While Lifeweaver and Zen won't be the highest heal output combo, keep in mind that they both have big healing values for their defensive ults, and when you're repositioning or adding extra pressure, or even sending Zen in an outrageous position to take a duel, then save him out, it's pretty oppressive. Like, we know how a Moira in your backline can go dual thing in an escape. Well, Zen's offensive stats are simply way higher, and now all of a sudden he has an escape that exists in the game attached to another character. The uptime you can get on these characters now is kind of insane because they benefit from good lines of sight, but often when they get flushed out, they get forced into positions that they don't want to play. Well, Lifeweaver can help Ana or Zen get up to spots that they normally would never get to at all, or not efficiently anyway, especially as the fight develops. The two ways I like to see Lifeweaver affecting the gameplay is summarized in our first series of examples, where you use, let's say, one and done style characters or cooldown based offense that you just dump at the enemy team, drain it all, and then need to be able to be saved to get out because you're basically going to die if you don't. That's one way to go. The second way is to make a target on your team undiveable, and playing around Discord Orb on good lines of sight is so valuable that I have a sneaking suspicion that this is going to be the top meta combo. But in ranked, playing around in Ana does a lot of the same things, just with needing to land her projectile cooldowns. Either way, I'm going to suggest those picks because they offer the biggest burst of potential impact as opposed to like reliable sustained impact. Characters with lower peak potential, but let's say like higher personal survivability or just better normal sustain, like Brig, Bap, Mercy can fly around, reposition. You don't really need those picks, in my opinion, when playing with a Weaver, because he's going to fully save you anyway once you're in a bad spot. So you would rather have characters that have less of their power budget in their own survivability, but instead higher stats elsewhere. Now let's show some examples of countering Lifeweaver setups. Very similar to the principles you may be used to for countering Symmetra team comps that like to TP around you, vertical flying characters often can get the angles around these pedal setups to focus fire and burst down with high amounts of damage, and Lifeweaver doesn't have great interactions against it. Using Lifeweaver to pedal up a Bastion or Cassidy is most effective against static teams that aren't ready for the angles, but if you're playing a flying character in the skybox, you often can ping where the pathing of the enemy team is coming from, or set up your own flanks proactively, which will make it hard for them to take space. What Lifeweaver wants you to do is stand in a position you think you're safe, then reposition the team to all of a sudden throw stats that you're not expecting. But more information and being prepared to combat those angles, it's very similar to playing against a Sim TP, where you want to punish them before they start taking position and teleporting into a spot that is incredibly defensible for them. Keep in mind that Sim probably is a character that will be comboed with Lifeweaver as well, to add that extra layer of map editor movement manipulation. And then to expand further on this point, if you're looking to counter the playstyle, the biggest weakness for Lifeweaver is getting dove himself. While he can save and reposition targets away, that doesn't mean all of a sudden mobility characters are just bad at getting to high ground. They're still good. You only get one grip, and Winston gets a leap every 5 seconds. And with Lifeweaver's healing potential quite low, especially against cleave, Winston is a go-to pick for me when trying to bend and then break the gaps of where Lifeweaver can heal. You'll especially find this easy if the enemy isn't playing one of the supports I I mentioned is kind of a must pick with the character. While Lifeweaver's Needler in some scenarios can frag out, it's nowhere near as much peak offense as a Discord Orb and the 30 Orbs of Destruction Zenyatta is packing, or Zenyatta's big cooldowns. Weaver's tank bust is not good at all. So Winston and Reinhardt, who can put a shield in the way and do cleave damage, forcing their face in front, while Lifeweaver can save the target that gets attacked, he's not good at saving himself nor healing the raw amounts that would be required to keep up that fight. Instead, you would want to look to characters like Ana, Baptiste, who have big healing cooldowns to be able to take that kind of tank battle. Another reason I think Winston is a big winner is because in the ult phase, as opposed to Kitsune Rush meta, which made the lethality of the team incredible, the Tree of Life from Lifeweaver doesn't help your offense at all. So that means a monkey primaling in your backline is likely pretty safe to either isolate a target or even get you away from the tree's effects. Sigma received a small nerf this patch, but he also fits the profile of the type of character that I think pairs well with the new support hero, or as the high offensive stats to counter him. This enemy team is attempting to Symmetra teleport past the choke, but just receiving too much damage on the way there. I'll be working towards making a finalized tier list for Season 4 with the more playtime and serious matchmaking that we get our hands on. It will depend a bit based on the mechanics that the community picks up and how quickly they understand how to either synergize or counter the new mechanics in the game. I think it's a safe bet to assume that you'll find Lifeweaver easy to counter at the start of the season, but as teams pick up the synergy picks and playstyles that can get the most out of what he does, he might grow in power over time. To make sure that you don't miss out on our upcoming videos covering Season 4 and everything Overwatch 2, be sure to leave the video with a like to support the channel and click the subscribe button and the bell icon to actually get notified when our videos come out. That's been it for me. I've been Frito for your Overwatch. I'll see you guys next time.